Hi everyone. Imagine this. There is a train track in front of you. You hear the sound of metal screeching. It gets louder and louder. You look up and see a trolley. It is racing down the track, faster and faster. Its brakes are broken. It cannot stop. You look to your left. 5 people are tied onto the track that the trolley is racing to. You panic. You don't want the trolley to kill 5 people. Time is running out and the trolley is approaching. But you realize that the track is split into 2. On another track, 1 person is tied to the rails. Only 1. And in front of you, there is a lever. Now, if you pull the lever, the trolley switches tracks and kills the 1 person. And if you don't, well, it'll crash into and kill 5 people. To pull the lever or not to pull the lever? This is the question. Now, what would you choose? Let's take a look. Raise your hand if you would pull the lever. Everyone, look around the room. I'm seeing quite a few of hands here. Does this sound any bit familiar? If it does, you probably heard of the famous trolley problem. However, the dilemma doesn't end here. Let's add some complexity to the dilemma. You're back onto the same situation. A train track, a racing trolley, and 5 people tied to the track. But this time, there is no lever. Instead, you are standing on the bridge above the track. And next to you is a very large man. You think and think. An idea comes to your head. If you push him off, his body will fall down the bridge and land on top of the track. His body will stop the trolley as the wheels go over his skin. The important thing is, if you push him, 5 people will be saved. Now, let's take another vote. Think carefully. Who would be willing to push the man off? Raise your hands. Look around you. Can you see the difference from the number of hands compared to the question before? Pulling the lever and pushing the man. It's the same math, the same sacrifice, and the same outcome. 1 person gets sacrificed to save 5 others. But why do we hesitate to push the man when we can easily pull the lever? Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the dilemma that the trolley problem presents. What is morally right and what is morally wrong? However, we are already familiar with the philosophy behind this problem. Today, I want to look at the problem from a different point of view. A view that is closely related to our real world. And that is from the legal perspective. In this society that we live in today, our actions have consequences. You cannot just steal a car or kill a person and get away with it. In the imaginary world, you might push the man off the bridge and that's it, no hard feelings. But in reality, it might mean jail for the rest of your life. Welcome. But why do we even have these rules? It's because these rules and consequences are what lays the foundation for this society. For example, you don't need to worry about your enemy at school or work suddenly stabbing you because they'd rather deal with you than life in prison. Rules are what keeps us safe, what makes society function. And these rules go under the name of law. Without law, our society would not function at all. Therefore, I think it's essential to look at the trolley problem, a very common dilemma, from a lawyer's perspective. What is guilty? What is innocent? This is a lawyer's instinct. Earlier, you made your choice. You pulled the lever maybe, or you even pushed the man. The story doesn't end here, because now you are not in the track anymore. You are in the courtroom in front of a judge. The trolley problem is a complicated one, but don't worry, I'll be your attorney for today. But I have to be honest, this is not an easy case to win. Everyone, hold on tight. You are on trial. The judge asks a question. When the trolley was racing down, did you do something or did you just stand there? Because in the eyes of law, doing harm and allowing harm are not the same thing. If you didn't pull the lever, you didn't cause harm, you just didn't stop it. And if you pulled the lever, well, you acted. You made something happen. And if you pushed the man, that's more direct. That's you physically causing someone's death. Now here's the part that most people don't realize. In many legal systems, you are not required to save strangers. You are not responsible for the trolley losing brakes. Morally, you might feel like you should pull the lever, but legally, you might not have to do anything at all. This is where the difference between morality and legal framework lies. So, at this point, things are not looking that great for you. If you push the man, or maybe if you pull the lever, you might turn to me, your attorney, and say, I had no choice, I had to do it. And here's the problem. Courts are very uncomfortable when you decide who gets to die. Saving 5 people might sound like the right thing to do, but choosing one person to sacrifice is something that law rarely accepts. So, what is the verdict? Would pulling the lever be legal? According to the law, you are guilty. Guilty of murder. Then what if you pushed the man instead? Well, this is even worse, because you didn't just redirect the harm. This time, you are the direct cause. I'm sorry, client, you're looking at life in prison. But some of you may ask, does this even happen in real life? To be honest, the chances of us waking in front of a lever to a trolley racing down to 5 people are pretty slim. Then, why has this problem been debated so much? Why am I here? It's because the problem mirrors dilemmas we run across in daily life. Imagine a disaster happens. You have limited time, limited resources. A doctor has to decide to save one critically injured patient or several less injured ones. Or maybe you're a military commander and there is a target in a crowded area. Do you strike the target or lose the opportunity but avoid injuring civilians? The trolley problem happens every single day. And now, as we move forward in the 21st century, it's not only us making these decisions. It's also the machines, artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, autonomous drones. They will have to decide like you just did. But when something goes wrong, who takes the blame? The machine, the programmer, the company? Because as we enter this new era, the question is no longer, what is the right thing to do? The question is now, who will be responsible? This is why we need law. It is law that decides what is allowed and what is not. And this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is what will change our future. Our future. Law is not just rules on a paper. It is what shapes and changes the life of every one of us. Thank you.